Imagine an empire that lasted over 6 centuries, enduring wars, revolutions, and the rise and fall of countless rivals. Stretching from the gates of Vienna in the west to the deserts of Arabia in the east, this was the vast and formidable Ottoman Empire. It was a powerhouse of wealth, art, and military might, shaping borders and cultures we still recognize today. Its influence reached into every corner of daily life, from the food people ate to the languages they spoke. Its capital, Constantinople, was the envy of the world, a glittering metropolis and a crossroads of civilization, where East met West in a vibrant blend of ideas and traditions. The Ottoman story is a real-life epic, dramatic conquests, legendary sultans, and a rise from humble beginnings to global dominance. Their armies thundered across continents, and their rulers became legends. But it wasn't just about war. The empire was a center of science, art, and trade, connecting East and West like never before. Scholars, merchants, and artists flocked to its cities, fueling a golden age of discovery and creativity. From a small Turkish state, it grew into a behemoth dominating the Mediterranean and Middle East, influencing lands far beyond its borders. We'll journey back to see how a band of warriors built an empire, stood on the walls of Constantinople, and walked the palaces of sultans. Their legacy still echoes in the stones and stories of these ancient places. This is the story of how an empire was won, flourished, and faded into history, leaving behind a world forever changed. Buckle up for a fast-paced journey through 6 centuries of triumphs and tragedies, innovation and intrigue. Meet the visionaries, soldiers, and rulers who shaped the Ottoman world and discover the stories behind their enduring legacy. The Ottoman Empire in all its glory and complexity is essential to understanding our world today, from politics to culture and beyond. Prepare to be amazed by the scale and drama of one of history's greatest empires. Let's begin our journey into the heart of the Ottoman legacy. Our story begins in the rugged heartlands of late 13th century Anatolia, in what is now modern-day Turkey, where the once mighty Seljuk Sultanate had collapsed, leaving behind a fractured and chaotic frontier, ripe for new powers to emerge. Amidst a patchwork of rival beyliks, Osman Gazi rose, a visionary leader who united scattered Turkish tribes under his banner, forging a new sense of purpose and identity. Legend tells that Osman dreamed of a mighty tree whose branches stretched across the world, a powerful prophecy that would shape the destiny of the Ottomans for centuries to come. Inspired by this vision, Osman and his son Orhan set their sights on the weakening Byzantine Empire, channeling their ambition into a series of bold conquests. In 1326, Orhan captured the city of Bursa, transforming it into the first Ottoman capital, a pivotal moment that marked their transition from nomadic warriors to a settled, organized power. From their new base in Bursa, the Ottomans expanded relentlessly, building a formidable administration and a disciplined army that would become the backbone of their empire. They governed over diverse populations, offering religious freedom in exchange for taxes, which made their rule more acceptable and stable among the many peoples of their growing realm. By the 1350s, the Ottomans had crossed into Europe, gaining their first crucial foothold on the continent and setting the stage for further expansion. The once small beylik was now growing at a remarkable pace, its roots spreading wide and deep into new lands and cultures. The Ottomans' pragmatic leadership, adaptability, and unwavering sense of destiny fueled their rapid rise, inspiring loyalty and ambition among their followers. Their dream was steadily becoming reality, an empire in the making, with each victory bringing them closer to greatness. The branches of Osman's legendary tree were now reaching across continents, connecting East and West in ways never seen before. The stage was set for greatness, and the world would soon witness the rise of a new empire. Constantinople, the heart of Byzantium, was the ultimate prize for the Ottomans, strategic and symbolic. For centuries it had stood as a beacon of power, culture, and faith, bridging Europe and Asia. By the mid-1400s, the city was a shadow of its former self, its glory faded and its defenses weakened, ripe for conquest. Sultan Mehmed II, young and ambitious, prepared for the siege with cutting-edge technology, massive cannons built by Orban, capable of shattering even the strongest walls. His vision was clear: to claim the city and reshape history. Mehmed's navy blockaded the city, and he built a fortress to cut off aid, tightening the noose around Constantinople from both land and sea. The siege began in April 1453. Outnumbered defenders fought bravely, but Mehmed's cannons battered the walls relentlessly, shaking the city to its core. In a bold move, Mehmed dragged ships overland into the Golden Horn, outflanking the defenders and catching them completely off guard, a feat of engineering and determination. On May 29, 1453, the final assault began. Janissaries stormed the breaches, and the city fell after centuries of resistance. the last Byzantine emperor died fighting on the walls. Mehmed entered the city as the conqueror, fulfilling his destiny and changing the course of history. He converted Hagia Sophia into a mosque and made the city his capital, renaming it Istanbul. The city's transformation had begun. The fall of Constantinople ended the Roman Empire in the Middle Ages, sending shockwaves across Europe and forever altering the balance of power. For the Ottomans it was their greatest triumph. A new era had begun, and their influence would soon stretch far beyond the city's ancient walls. Istanbul became the glorious capital of a burgeoning empire, a vibrant center of culture, trade, and power. The Ottomans had claimed the ultimate prize, securing their place in history. Their empire was now unstoppable, and the world would never be the same. The Ottoman Empire reached its zenith under Sultan Sulayman the Magnificent, who reigned from 1520 to 1566. Sulayman was a brilliant strategist, administrator, and patron of the arts. His era is known as the Golden Age. He led legendary campaigns, capturing Belgrade, crushing Hungary at Mohacs, and reaching the gates of Vienna. In the east, he defeated Persia and took Baghdad, securing Mesopotamia. Sulayman's reign wasn't just about conquest, it was a time of cultural and artistic achievement. Architect Mimar Sinan transformed Istanbul's skyline with masterpieces like the Süleymaniye Mosque. The arts flourished. Ceramics, calligraphy, textiles, and miniature paintings thrived in imperial workshops. Sulayman reformed government and law, codifying a legal system that unified the empire. His Kanun Code brought stability and fairness, lasting for centuries. Under Sulayman, the empire balanced military might, governance, and culture. When he died in 1566, the empire was at its peak, wealthy, powerful, and well-organized. Sulayman's legacy defined the Ottoman Golden Age. The empire stood as a true global superpower. At the heart of the Ottoman military stood the Janissaries, Europe's first modern standing army. Fiercely loyal to the Sultan, they were the most disciplined and effective soldiers of their time. The Janissaries were created through the Devşirme system, recruiting Christian boys from the Balkans, converting and training them as elite soldiers. Their strict discipline and advanced weaponry made them the sharp edge of Ottoman power. On the battlefield, Janissaries were masters of musket fire and combined arms tactics, often turning the tide of battle. They served as the Sultan's bodyguards and the core of his army. Over time, however, their power grew, and so did their influence in politics. The Janissaries began to resist reform, becoming a conservative force and a threat to the state. They revolted to protect their privileges, even deposing sultans. What began as an elite corps became a dangerous liability. The Janissaries' rise and fall mirrored the fortunes of the empire itself. Their legacy is both one of glory and warning. The Ottoman Empire was a vast, multi-ethnic and multi-religious state. Turks, Arabs, Greeks, Armenians, Jews, and more lived within its borders. The millet system allowed each major religious group to govern itself, preserving language, schools, and religious laws. Non-Muslims paid a special tax, but were protected and free to practice their faith. This tolerance attracted refugees like Jews expelled from Spain in 1492, who found new homes in Ottoman cities. Istanbul became a bustling, cosmopolitan hub. Its grand bazaar and coffee houses were centers of commerce and culture. The empire's crossroads location fueled global trade, bringing wealth and new ideas. Society was stratified. The Sultan and elite at the top, merchants and scholars in the middle, peasants at the base. While tensions existed, the millet system enabled coexistence for centuries. The Ottoman Empire was a true melting pot, where diverse peoples lived and worked side by side. Its cities thrived on cultural exchange and innovation. The empire's diversity was both its strength and its challenge. It remains a model of pre-modern multiculturalism. After Sulayman's reign, the Ottoman Empire began a slow decline. Power eroded over centuries, not overnight. Weak sultans isolated in the palace left real power to court factions. Militarily, the Ottomans lagged behind Europe, failing to modernize as rivals advanced. The Janissaries, once elite, resisted reform and became a major obstacle. Defeat at Vienna in 1683 marked the end of Ottoman expansion and the start of retreat. Economic woes mounted as European sea routes bypassed Ottoman trade, draining wealth. Inflation, corruption, and heavy taxes fueled unrest and rebellion. Nationalism spread. Greeks, Serbs, Bulgarians, and others fought for independence, shrinking the empire. The government struggled to hold the diverse state together as European powers intervened. The mighty tree of Osman was losing its branches, one by one. The empire's decline was slow, painful, and relentless. By the early 20th century, the Ottoman Empire was a shadow of its former self. The Young Turks seized power in 1908, hoping to modernize and unify the state. But wars in the Balkans cost the empire nearly all its European lands. In World War I, the Ottomans sided with Germany and Austria-Hungary, a fatal decision. The war brought devastation, defeat on multiple fronts, and the Armenian genocide, a dark chapter in history. British and Arab forces pushed the Ottomans out of the Middle East. By 1918, the empire was exhausted and defeated. Its territories were carved up by the victors. The Sultan became a puppet, but a new leader emerged, Mustafa Kemal. Kemal led the Turkish War of Independence, abolishing the Sultanate in 1922. The last sultan fled into exile. After 623 years, the Ottoman Empire was no more. A new era was about to begin. The world had changed forever. The Ottoman Empire's legacy endures in modern Turkey, founded by Mustafa Kemal Ataturk, who launched sweeping reforms. The Caliphate was abolished, the Latin alphabet adopted, and Western laws introduced, a dramatic break from the Ottoman past. The empire's collapse shaped the modern Middle East and Balkans with new borders and new tensions. Ottoman culture lives on in architecture, cuisine, and art from Sarajevo to Cairo. Coffee, kebabs, and baklava are just a few of its gifts to the world. The Ottomans blended traditions, creating a unique civilization that still inspires. Their story is a reminder of the rise and fall of great powers. From humble warriors to global empire, their journeys shaped our world. The echoes of the Ottoman Empire are still heard today. Their epic tale remains a vital part of our shared history.